We, as always, want to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. Thank you, Everclear. Hello, this is Lisa Russett.
And Misty Lore.
With the podcast, We Are All Psychic. And today we have a favorite past recurring guest. And his name is Nathan. Nathan, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, you too.
Thank you for being on the show. We have to ask you, do you think we're all psychic?
Absolutely. We are definitely born that way. We are all made to be able to receive messages and send messages into the field around us, which includes communicating with spirit, picking up on other people's energy, all of it.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, what exactly do you do?
So I have been utilizing my psychic gifts as to a very degree since I was a young child, but becoming more serious about the development in my late teens and early adulthood, and so incorporating it, into my full-time daily life when I was a younger adult. Now I work full-time, helping people using these gifts through whatever medium necessary. Working on a platform called Everclear as an advisor there. But there, I usually am just reading energy or using tarot or runes. Today, we're talking about something a little bit different, which is osteomancy or reading bones.
This is so exciting to me, listeners and watchers. I have to interrupt. I just got to. I have to ask you the question. I have to interrupt. But I'm so excited, listeners and watchers, because after the last podcast we did with you, I think it was, you actually read the bones for us. And he's going to talk a lot about how it works on this episode and hopefully lots more. And he says he might be able to read our bones today. And it's called, what is it called again?
Osteomancy.
Osteomancy. And how do you spell it?
Osteo, osteo, and then mancy, mancy.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different mancies: pyromancy, cardomancy, osteo being a...
Yeah, we did. Right? We did a cardomancy podcast. Yes.
So we have a lot of different divinatory mediums that we can use. However, so I also moonlight as a death caregiver, working with a funeral home and working with grieving individuals. So I am just naturally drawn to working with things and honoring spirits through, their death. So this is coyote bones, actually, ethically sourced from the coyote. And within the osteomancy set here, we actually have some coyote bones and turtle bones and a few other things that we'll go over, buffalo. You're really able to draw from the essence of the animal that you're working with when using this medium for divination in a much different way. In tarot, you are connecting with an image that is given multiple different interpretations based off of the energy that you feel off of the card or its classical meaning. With a lot of the more old school individuals, we know the nuts and bolts of the suits and the numbers, or in the major arcana. Those traditional interpretations. But when somebody's wanting to learn tarot, I don't actually guide them to go and learn those classical textbook meanings. I tell them to go to an art museum and see if they can get a feeling off of a piece of art. Right? Look at this piece of art and tell me how you feel. And if you can do that, you can look at a card and tell me how you feel. And if you can tell me how you feel when you're looking at that card, you can apply it to either yourself or the person that you're reading for. And that's that more psychic or intuitive reading versus the analytical textbook reading, right?
I like that. I like the way you describe that.
That's very awesome.
I really like that.
It is, it's how it was passed to me, from my teacher years ago. It's just, if you can't go off the feeling, you can't be diverse. One card will have 100 different meanings for 100 different people.
Yes. I know. And I'm a feel kind of person.
Yeah,
I have to feel it.
What you're talking about, she's great at just looking at an image and getting a big story out of it. I'm not very visual, so I kind of have to go with what pops up.
Yeah.
So I like the way you did that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, that's what you do when you're doing osteomancy here. When you're holding this bone and you're communicating with the energy that it's interpreting to you, or looking at the picture. Like these are yes and no bones. We have a dark side here, and then we have a white side. So there's 5 bones, and
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but it's just very funny right now. Of course, things go crazy on the podcast. We're all psychic quite a bit. We have Gandalf eating Misty's hair, and the dog upstairs is howling because his dad's about to come home.
Oh,
so over here, it's just a zoo. Hey, Gand. If you do not know, this is Gandalf, the wizard cat. He's a shadow cat. I'm sorry to interrupt you, and you were telling us about 5 bones of yes and no.
Yeah, so that's just a basic yes or no answer. And if you have 5 yes bones facing up, 5 white side, you interpret that as a strong positive response. 3 is like, and then same thing with the no side. So when you see me on TikTok reading, and I'm doing yes or no answers with the bones, that's what we're doing. The actual osteomancy set, when you're working with your set, you go off the feeling it gives you. There isn't a textbook meaning for this is this and this is this. You build this from your own experience over time. I would recommend that you two start making these.
I might. I have some claws and I have some bones. When I first said, yes, okay, I am psychic. What kind am I? Where do I belong was my label. I wanted a label. I've done a podcast about that too. I thought shamanism was the closest to any of them that I experienced, that I looked through and learned at that time.
Yeah.
So I did have an interest in like collecting the furs. I have some furs and some claws and stuff like that, and some teeth, and I have a megalodon tooth, because I wrote a megalodon book and I had to have a megalodon tooth,
So, okay. So let's just say that I want to make some. What do I use? What can I use?
Well, anything really. So let me tip this camera here. Now this is my osteomancy set.
Oh wow! Yeah, I love this.
Okay. So this is you again. I work in the death industry also. So this is from a yew tree taken from a cemetery, and the branch was harvested on Halloween. So all of the sacred trees have sacred days or times throughout the year. Yew is associated with the period from Halloween to Christmas. So or Yule. Right. So that season. So I took this branch off of this tree and turned it into a staff. And that was some of the small branches that were left over. Stars has been very protective. Yew is very protective. Now these are straight toe bones. Right. So this is what I use when I cast the bones. And when you hear that old term, casting the bones, that's what people are referring to, is literally casting the bones. Some older different types of osteomancy also include taking like a leg bone from a cow, a bison, or an oxen, and putting it on fire. And then when the bone starts to crack, you read the cracks in the bone. A combination of osteomancy and pyromancy, right? So
okay.
Beautiful. But I have in here a seashell, right? Representative of water, the emotional element.
Oh, I love that. Okay, yes.
Some turkey bones, got some crow bones. Crows represent law. They brought us light. This is a preserved tarantula over here in the corner, right? Our tarantulas are weavers. They weave the webs of fate.
I love that, yes.
If you're using a tool that deals with reading the web of fate, having spider medicine involved in that, or that energy of that arachnid, is going to be very beneficial, right? Because we're kind of,
it's transformative.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is truly transformative. I mean, metaphorically and literally, I have been bitten by a black widow, and it put me through like a weird experience for a week and a half. That then, you know what I'm talking about. It's nothing like you can explain. I can't explain it anyway.
And
it's medicine though. It did fix up her problem in the end.
Yep, for sure. So this is a piece of bear root. Now this is one of our sacred herbs that we want to incorporate when we have physically things like sore throat, releasing the throat chakra. It's got a lot of physical medicinal benefits. I like to put it in my coffee, but I also associate that with the representation of healing of the physical body, right? So our seashell is a healing of the emotional body. The bear root is representative of the physical body. We have a branch from some sage here. The spiritual body, right? So when I cast the bones, if one of these bones goes over and lands on one of these elements of this set, I know that there's a guide surrounding that area of that person's life, right?
Hey, you want to hold on a second? Is that beeping? Like, it just stopped. Did you hear that beeping? Did anybody else hear that beeping? Well, it's gone now. Okay, well, let's continue on.
So we have jet. That's a grounding stone, right? You need to ground ourselves
there
out.
Again. Stopped.
Maybe it's feedback.
I think it is feedback. Let me try this.
That's okay. So, I mean, we have buffalo tooth. We have a radial bone from a turkey vulture, which turkey vultures are said to be like the underkeeper of the bird world. That they remove illness from the physical body. So all of these different aspects of this board have some kind of significance symbolically or energetically, a vibration, right? So this is kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen those mats where people put the different symbols on and cast stones on them. They usually make them out of leather. Same concept, but with a board. This is a rabbit pelt here. So, I mean, I suppose, unless you guys have any questions, we can just kind of jump right into it. Do you have any questions about how you would set one of these up yourself?
Well, yeah. I see that you've got your like little box going on, and you've got stuff underneath it too. Am I saying
this
that
is a
right?
rabbit pelt.
Huh?
Rabbit pelt. Oh,
Rabbit.
you know, I thought that was sand last time.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what that was. So,
yep, that's rabbit.
What do I need something like that too?
Yeah, I like to use something soft. You can use cloth, like an altar cloth or something special, a shawl that belonged to your grandma. I
have rabbit furs too. If you like that stuff too, I do.
There you go.
Rabbit.
So this box is actually just one of those old silverware sets that you got, grandma kept with her kitchen stuff. I just
my mom has
the
one.
silverware holders out. Right, and all the silverware. I think it cost me $5 for the actual box because it was like just half put together.
Cool.
I filled it from there.
That's awesome. Okay,
yeah,
I just wanted to know that before we got started.
And I just started piecing it together.
I think I am going to build one
that was passed to me to do because I learned it from a teacher who then kind of helped me, and it took me probably a year and a half to piece everything together.
That makes sense because it would have to be really something you connect with on a deep level if you're going to go into that, I would think,
Yeah. And can it be a crystal? Can you use a crystal?
Sure. Yep.
Listeners and watchers, it's just having feedback issues, but I will
the only
cut it out.
crystal I have in here is this one, which is okay. I've seen them with more, like I said, I've seen knickknacks, keys, thimbles. I've seen all kinds of interesting stuff that people use to symbolize different aspects of life and the universe that we live in. So like every bone formulation on here or individual bone in this box is representative of something. And then we just take these here and we grab them and we hold on to them. Give thanks for the energy of the person that we're about to tap into, with their permission, of course. And then we drop the bones. I only go a couple inches above the board, and then just open my hands and let them fall wherever they're going to.
Okay.
We're kind of modulating two cameras here because I want to look at what I'm doing over here.
Yeah. Okay, man, this is just amazing. So are you ready? Would you like to start a reading with one?
Sure.
Missy, you want to go first?
It doesn't matter.
She wants to go first.
I know. I was going to pick her first anyways because she's been the most quiet today.
She's tired, but she also gets her grandchildren tonight, and I think she's anxious to go play.
Oh, that's exciting.
She loves them.
All right. So I don't know if you got to actually see those drop because I wasn't looking at the camera, but they go. And then this one came over here and hung out by itself.
Huh.
Right. Okay. So just like I was talking about earlier, this is our buffalo tooth, and this bone fell in closest proximity to the actual buffalo tooth. Now, buffalo teeth are signs of abundance. You'll see them, people wear them as necklaces. They'll drill the top of the tooth and sometimes put 2 copper beads on each side. It's to draw an abundance, but they're also very protective. I don't know if you ever watch those videos of tourist season, those reels on Facebook where people at Yellowstone go and try to pet the buffalo and get tossed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my favorite, but they're protective, right? So they're known for their abundance because they give us their furs and their bones for tools and structures, and their meat for nourishment. But there's so much more, right? And they represent wisdom. Most people that utilize a medicine wheel in their practice have the buffalo coming from the north, which is that wise aspect of our lives.
That's what I was thinking with buffalo is wisdom, usually.
Very much wisdom.
Makes me think of age, like old and knowing ancient history and stuff. Just
absolutely. So seeing this, and again, this is just where my attention was drawn at first drop, and just the thing that popped out loudest at me is this message right here of abundance coming into your life as a result of wisdom being put to practice, right? You've worked hard, you've toiled much. Now you yourself are going to be nourished, and you are going to be able to incorporate that wisdom that you have learned in a way that is less taxing and more resting. And we know that because down here, and I don't know if you can see this, but I can see this, we have a turtle bone, right? And our second closest bone right here is close to this turtle bone right here, as is this pointing at this turtle bone. So the medicine of turtle, the message of turtle, the energy that it represents is well encompassing. But when I look at them, because on our property we have snappers and painted turtles that always nest and lay their eggs. We get to watch this little turtle parade going down the sandhill to the river. It's
really cool, isn't it? I've seen it before. Yeah.
Turtles, while they don't have this relationship with their parents that mammals oftentimes do, they move as a family in their first moments of life, right? They move as a unit. And they are usually known for moving slow, but that is a race for water. So understand the value and incorporate the value of moving as a family, moving with your family, but also taking things slow and really enjoying the moments, that your grandchildren are going to spend some time with you. So that's very fitting, enjoying these special small moments. Now, moving in here, because we don't really have anything in this quadrant up here. We have some stuff going towards the jet. We talked about that time to rest and rejuvenate already with buffalo. But up here, we also have these crossed bones, right? And I cross those bones like this. It's like a teepee or like a triangle without a bottom, right? And that is really about pouring into your own cup rather than letting your cup be emptied, right? So this up here is all about our self-care, whether it be our physical cup, our emotional cup, or our pocket cup, right? Our abundance. And with this right here, you can't pour out into those around you if you don't take time to nourish yourself.
Amen
so this
self-care
is she needs to hear that. Yeah, she's always doing.
Well, yeah, always doing, always going.
For others,
It's not so much in the physical part up here as it is over in this mental and emotional part over here. Right. So even as we get into the reading, you kind of see how I have these quadrants zoned out a little bit, just for your own contemplation with your stuff. Now in the center here, we have some combobulation and some chaos. And when I look at it and I see all of these bones together like this in this really tight area, I do see and get a feeling of some general stiffness. Actually, when I am talking to you, like right in my lower thoracic spine, I'm like feeling.
Oh wow!
Right?
Yeah. She has a cyst there.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a cyst in my spine.
Is it a disorder? What's it called?
Cyromelia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Isn't that weird? You picking that up?
Yeah.
It's coming through,
cyst.
And that's what I mean by translating and paying attention to the feelings. It's definitely something that's coming through here, and as it is coming through, it is. I do feel warmth. I do almost feel. It's almost like a nurturing effect. I don't know if this thing that you're living with is something that can be treated and and go away, but it is something that is going to physically cause you to nourish yourself, and there is a tie to those things. So as you slow down, that is something that you are going to have the pressure alleviated from.
Okay.
It's going to kind of incorporate as you loosen up, and as everything kind of finds its balance and finds its flow. You are definitely going to have it being less restrictive to your life.
I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Well, and it's interesting because I always joke with some of the people in my life, including my wife, that says when we don't slow down, our body will slow us down.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Yeah,
it's true. When we don't slow down, our body will slow us down and say, "No, you need to be doing this." And oftentimes, I feel that that's definitely spirit communicating with us through the most dense medium possible, which is our physical form. Because we're not getting the messages out here first, or we're not listening to it. It's like, fine, we'll just sit you down.
Yeah.
Right? And that causes
down,
us to go into a different aspect of thought. It causes us to really assess things differently. And as we do, we're able to complete different aspects of our life in a different way, but bring them into more fullness. Right?
I love that.
People engage with their path in bigger ways when they sit down. Do you have any questions about these?
I have a million.
Well,
shoot.
Let you go first.
Okay. So when they're bunched together like that, it means that is that what it always means, or can it mean other things too? I mean, you hit on it spot on.
That was just the feeling that I got off of it. Feeling? Oftentimes you'll see me just stick my hands in things, just like when I'm reading the runes, I'll sit there and I'll work the runes. That will give me feelings. Yeah. That was what really, really came through. We could pick this apart more, really.
I know, like the other TP.
Like some people see physical runes, like the Futhark runes and the bone alignments.
I've seen those,
That's common. I didn't have any of those jump out at me, other than this right here.
That one, that's the one I was talking about. That one stands out to me.
That looks very much like Kenas, right?
It does. I was thinking that too.
Or Jira, if we had
another one
like this. Right, it would be half of a Jira, but we do definitely see that Kenas formation, which is the torch. We have two large depictions of fire in the Futhark runes. One is Sewillow, the sun. The other is Kenas, the torch. Right, the torch being more of an illuminating in the self circle, where the sun illuminates and gives life and growth. So understand that aspects with this message right here, that there are aspects that have seemed clouded or in the dark, that you're going to have bursts of insight and inspiration. Right? That is any area that may be confusing, kind of feeling a little bit lost. It doesn't feel that it is in the zone of home and family. It feels more personal and close to heart, self and personal orientation. What do I do next? How do I complete this next? How do I get from here to here and make it a smooth transition for everybody involved? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, totally. Like I got chills.
It's coming. Well, it obviously needed to come out and be heard. Just by the way it was kind of mutually pointed out there. Important.
I'm very curious. A vertical and horizontal, is there a difference there? And there's another little teepee one. Oh, you just put that there, I think. I was wondering if, because they're all going, from my point of view, they're all going like up and down.
So they're actually going up and down. I'm sitting here and this is the top of the desk, so I'm reading this way. But for you, I can see why they would be this way. So this would be vertical, and this, I mean, just looking at it, right? We see the flow of energy from top to bottom. This is
right
to the ground, right?
What does that mean? To me, it feels like she's getting back to her heart.
It does really show us that there is energy pouring in, and that there isn't scattered all over the place. Everything is really focused and really concentrated. Right. Oftentimes when I drop the bones, you'll see them come over here, and they're just kind of all over the place. But everything really, other than this and this over here, really kind of condensed itself. And I mean, like I said, it's not really a textbook thing where we have this means this, this means this. It's how do I feel the energy coming off of this when I know what this up here means and I see this bone in relation to it. How is this message of abundance being interpreted? Things of that nature, right? But this I take to feel or identify as the flow of energy in your life and how it is really becoming more focalized and less all over the place. Things are finding their place, finding their order, finding their lane, which is why we know that this period of abundance is coming up, because that's when this happens, is when everything focuses itself and moves in a cohesive manner. But we also know that that's how this period of rest is going to come through at the same time, because we have everything up here just coming down to this one single solitary bone in the center. It's really kind of cool. It's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
It's a good thing. I don't
makes you
take
think
it
of
as
a
anything
waterfall
negative.
too, a little bit, just a little bit, like a little trickling waterfall, like just like or a faucet or something, like a feeling, and finally letting out emotion in a way too.
It's flow.
Looks like a flow.
Initially, I mean, when we were talking about it, there's that tense aspect, but it is flow. When just looking at it, stepping back, sometimes you look at individual pieces of something. Sometimes you take a step back and look at the whole picture, right? Things feel like they're going to be coming through much more cohesively. I remember talking about some potential bumps last time we read the bones and did this, and it feels that a lot of those have been leaped over and worked through, right? That there may have been a couple of roadblocks or flat tires or this or that, but now you're moving into more smooth paved road rather than that potholy gravel.
I feel that. No, I really do. I was feeling that today, actually. My mind thought was there. You know what I'm saying?
Your focus was on that. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm good.
I was like, things are good.
Things are good. Nothing's bad. Everything's good.
That's just great.
Things are good.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Let this be confirmation for you that things are good. Things are going to be good. Not that potholes and flat tires are a bad thing.
No,
they're just uncomfortable and inconvenient sometimes.
Yes,
right.
Very much
But that teaches us just as much as that smooth blacktop pavement road.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I was just taking one last glance here, making sure nothing else is jumping out at me. But no more questions, comments, concerns?
No, that was spot on. I love it. He is really good at what he does.
He is, yeah. Well, you want to tell him how he's accurate, because he doesn't know unless.
I did. I told him he's spot on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, about what though? Like specifically, like your. Well, the one thing that it made me think of is how like we have been, or you have been, focusing more on you.
Yeah.
The main thing I feel like you have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a new thing for you. So you're figuring out how to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it feels good.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
You need it. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how spirit will work to give us affirmations, right? And I see it every day, as I'm sure you do. Working as an advisor, people coming back, what this came forward. Because sometimes somebody won't necessarily understand what you mean when you're talking about something, right? And then they come back a month or two later and they're like, I got you. I got what you were saying.
And you
there's somebody that I was working with months ago, and this is like a real-time client, where she didn't realize that she was getting ready to get a divorce, but spirit realized it. Right? It was just on the road ahead. And I told you need to prepare yourself. You need to put some stuff aside, get your affairs in order, and just prepare yourself. And it wasn't 6 months later that they were filing papers. And she's like, I know what you meant. Things just come forward, and people don't, because when you're walking your path, you're usually looking 5 feet in front of you, which is why you talk to an advisor who's here with a helicopter saying, all right, this is what I see on the landscape in front of you and around you. Right. And when you're able to do that, and then they catch up to that timeline and they say, oh, okay, you handle it with more preparation. because you heard it before. It's not as much of a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel this is so important. A lot of people like to use spiritual advisors or intuitives, the people that have spent time honing that gift, because again, we all have it, right? But people that have really spent time refining it in a way that you can interpret the energy and send forth in the message effectively.
They say build the muscle a lot on the podcast.
It's building a muscle. Well, I put it more as like, have you ever seen the movie August Rush? The kid that's a musical savant, and he ends up playing like for the
Rush. Yes. Wait.
August Rush.
He plays this one song for really many years, and he goes to perform it for the first time, and then he just falls over. Shine.
It's he's a musical savant. Right?
Is it called Shine or is it called?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. I've seen that over and like years ago. I watched that over and over and over.
I've seen it before.
That movie. You have
some people are just born with this innate ability to play instruments and they hear music. I have a nephew that's like this, and he can play guitar, can play the drums, can play the piano, whatever you put in front of him, he's good. Tinker with a clarinet. Oh, look, I can play a clarinet and woodwind with reeds. It's like, okay, dude.
My dad's like that.
Right. It's really cool. Some people are just born being able to do that and tune into that frequency. Some people have to work at it. I had to work at learning how to play the guitar and understanding the scales and all of that.
I took practice my butt off. Yeah. And my little calluses had to build up. It took a long time.
Right. It's building a muscle.
And, my pitch got better too. My pitch got better the more I worked with it, tuning the guitar. I played in a band with dudes. First band I was in, and they all could tune their guitars by ear, and I couldn't, but I didn't like them reaching over and touching my pegs.
Yeah.
Tuning for me. So I had to learn really fast. And I did, learn how to tune it better, get better at finding the pitches and stuff like that.
That's it.
I didn't have it at first. I always had good pitch, but I didn't have that.
Tune yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like energy. You just work till you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Everybody's got it. You just got to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's got it. You just got to work on it. Some people got it easier and sooner than others. So like, my little niece Adeline, who's talking to her great grandma Moselle, who's been dead for 60 years in the upstairs of her house, freaking her mom out. Adeline, who are you talking to? Moselle. It's like, what child has ever heard that name, let alone knows to talk to them in the upstairs of the house?
Right. Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's cool. And it never went away for her. Right. She was just born that way. Now, and that's a completely different type of reading, right? Mediumship, speaking with the dead, or like, just feeling out the energy ahead of you, different types of intuition. But they all kind of stem from the same spots in our brain, the physical gray matter. I feel.
Most people say that the pineal gland or the other one right next to it. Pituitary. Yes. Thank you. I've heard that a lot. And it feels like to me, it's got to be like right smack dab in the middle here, or somewhere. Yeah. It does feel like one of those glands, but I don't know. I've heard, we had someone on the podcast recently say that like the brain gets calcified with like the diet sodas and stuff like that. I didn't know about that. The pineal gland and the pituitary gland do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think it to be?
I was talking to my musical nephew, and he was telling me how when they changed the pitch and the octave of music, like we have our natural harmonic frequency, 424, when they lowered it down to 420, which is what they blast us with the radio, that also does the same thing. It makes like our pineal gland tone deaf. So you don't hear me listen to the radio, but I'll listen to a lot of old vinyl. I have a collection of vinyls that I inherited. I'll listen to those all day long, but like, they cut off the top and the bottom of the notes, and they shortened the notes down to 420 from 424. At least that's how I understand from his explanation. And it caused us to hear and therefore receive it differently. And music alters water. We are water, right? Frequency.
It does.
So it changes things just as much as the fluoride. They're hitting us from all angles. They don't want us to be able to have that intuition, because if everybody tuned into their spiritual reality of the reality that we live in, war would stop, greed would go away, hunger would become non-existent, people would become healthy. Like it just takes awareness.
And money seems to be the focus of our culture. acquiring money and spending money. And it's just a strange, but I don't know what perpetuates that. Probably because I don't have much money. But I mean, I don't understand why our country is so focused on money in my point of view, like, because these people either don't have any, it seems like, or they have a lot. Yeah. And, I don't know why we get a little off topic about that when we're talking about the bones, but we don't want to talk about money. Who cares about money? We love money, right? Money is mine. Money falls upon me like a me. I like doing those chants like that to see if they come.
Though, right? I would rather be abundant of heart and mind and body than be
me too. Health.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Health. Yeah.
Some of the happiest people you'll find live on the streets because they learn to be happy with nothing. And then what happens when they fall into abundance? Some of them realize that life is harder with physical money.
You're right. I've heard that too. I've heard those stories. Right? People treat them differently and stuff like that.
And I feel that was brought forward to pull us away from the reality of life and the value of life. Right? It's just a part of the illusion that they built for us. Was let's disassociate from what's really important and chase this thing outside of you and chase it so much that it always feels like you never have enough once you start running.
Yeah.
Once you start chasing the almighty dollar, the chase gets harder and easier.
It never ends. It seems like the more you have, the more you want.
That's a good point. Yeah, it never ends.
Yeah. And it's just part of the illusion. And that's again why when we wake up, when we become aware, it all stops. Right?
Yeah.
So
literally.
And that's why this podcast is important, because the only way to wake up is by realizing that you have a way to wake up. You have something to wake up to, right? And then you start moving people. And if you can start them with feeling more, right? Feel the people around you, feel the world that you live in, just feel more and see more and use those intuitive psychic gifts more, that's going to start the whole process, right? Mm-hmm. All need to do it.
Right? Why not?
Totally.
Yeah, wonderful world.
All right. Your bones.
My bones. My bones. Okay.
Throw her bones.
I give you permission. Thank you, Nick.
That's a lot more spread out, but still everything is all up and down.
It's weird. Yeah.
Interesting, except for this guy over here.
Okay.
And let me see if I can turn this, just so that I know. It's wonky. Can you see me, or is that sun too bright?
I think it was better the way it was.
Was it?
Like that. That looks
perfect.
Good.
So we got this guy over here. That's on that horizontal axis. The rest of them all are all up and down. So, you were just talking about flow and abundance. I find it interesting that we see similar messages come through twice, because this bone here is right on top of this buffalo tooth. Right?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
So just knowing the background of you two working together and having some partnerships, in terms of bringing these things forward, we're going to deduce that you're going to continue to experience growth in this sphere and experience abundance that way. This is going to continue to grow, but also we are going to bring forward that you have, Lisa, have some movement in front of you, because we see one of the flight bones up here, and this bone is right here.
Okay.
So your sphere is about to move, and you're about to shift.
Am I about to move? Location.
I feel that this is because of the type of bone that this is. I feel that
what type is it? I'm curious. What type of bone is that?
It's a flight bone. Right?
Okay, flight bone. Flight. So it's a wing bone, like kind of thing. Flight. Yeah. So that would be.
So that is significant to physical movement, right? Oh. And I've only got the other bone that I have right here is right here, and that's down here. And you don't have anything around here, but you have this. This is our flight bone. This right here is a broken bone. This is a shard. This symbolizes like trauma and woundedness. The bone is clearly not on this one. It's up here.
Okay.
Right. So prepare for some transitions.
Well, I want to
Prepare
move,
for-
but I can't find a way to do it right now. I don't have the money to move, but I would like to move to Nashville. I have a job that I could take there too. So
I would
work into it.
suggest that you stop looking.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't mean that to be satirical. I
No, I
mean
have
that
been looking. No, I didn't think you were. I have been looking at different types.
when we stop looking for things, we oftentimes find them, right?
Yeah.
And
Good point.
whether it's an avenue to be able to make movements and progress in our life, or it's the car keys that you misplaced. The process of finding it isn't that different. Sometimes you have to stop looking and sit down and drink a cup of coffee and allow things to click over, and it's like the light bulb goes on in the head.
When I look at those,
Huh?
you know, as listeners and watchers, I just want to point out that Nathan and I can talk and hear at the same time each other. Have you noticed that, Nathan? We can totally do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I'm just watching you guys go at it.
We talk at the same time and we hear each other. It's funny. I
like one the other one.
I can hear you right now.
So I lost my thought train now. So I feel that it's important to just let the answer come to you rather than actively looking for it. And
I
just
get real
say,
bored,
okay.
Nancy, and I think I totally love that message. I think that's exactly what I need to do.
Yeah, it is.
And I have been looking for some way to do something.
Yep.
You know, just kind of, you know,
just stop.
Right. I will stop.
So I used to work with some mentees, and I used to tell them, be still and shut up all the time. Like, and that's in your mind. Just let your mind be still and let your inner voice quiet down, right? Listen to them. And then the second step to that is to sit in gratitude, right?
Yes.
See
I've
yourself.
had a hard time feeling gratitude lately. Yeah.
Whether it's that job opportunity or the physical location or just looking at the mountains of Tennessee in your mind, and feeling yourself there and saying, thank you.
Yeah.
Stop looking, stop thinking about it. The only thought that you're allowed to have about this destination is gratitude.
Okay.
And see how long it takes you to get there.
I love that. I will. I'll have gratitude
just test it, right?
Try
Test it, try it, put it on your calendar, and see how long it takes. Do it as a science experiment.
It will be my homework.
Nathan's
giving homework.
And then, you know, the day that you know that you're actually going to make this move, you come on this podcast and you say, okay, in this episode, I was given a homework assignment and I did it. And here's the answer. It took this long to see it happen.
Mm-hmm. And you know, by the time this episode is aired, it may have been resolved and I can add it on at the end. Would that be nice?
Perfect.
See it happening.
Right? That would be perfect. A big roundabout and a testament to the power of gratitude over our direction and our trajectory in getting there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
We see right here that this almost looks like a star, but it's not.
It looks like a triangle to me. Yeah, I was wondering. I was going to arrow an
triangle, but we have this line going up right here, and you know, so I look at that and I feel like it's almost looping back. You're trying to go forward, but you got to loop back and look at something before you can actually progress forward again. Take a snap back and get back to your roots with some of your practices. I don't really know what that means, but there are some things that have been done in the past that you could.
So listeners, of course, the lovely things of We're All Psychic. The phone died in the middle of my reading, right, Misty? Isn't that pretty typical? Pretty typical.
Yep.
And Nathan, I love that reading because I will love to think of Nashville. I will love to have gratitude anytime I visit there. And I will think of it positively. I've been working on this, you know, thinking about things in a never negative light, like never let the negative words. And my grandmother used to say that to me, never say can't or don't or won't. And I kind of have that in my head sometimes, you know, lately. And that's a way back to gratitude. And the reason I haven't felt much gratitude is just I've just been sick and I blame it on, you know, well, I worry about money and getting in that headspace. But with Gemini, I like the astrology stuff. So like, at this time today, you know, everything's in Gemini except for Mars, I think. And, or not everything, but most of the big planets are. in our personal charts or our personal planets. And I feel that energy shifting. And I'm also having kind of an interesting experience. I'm going to teach my first Reiki classes, but I'm just doing it in exchange for gifts.
Okay.
And I've never done that. So, but the Reiki has told, like, it's working already. And I didn't understand a lot about how the Reiki works on this kind of, it's just an amazing experience to have it telling me we're starting now. It didn't tell me. I just knew it. I felt the information come to me that it's already starting and the class is tomorrow. So I just thought that was really neat,
That's hugely exciting.
It's weird. And then it explained to me, well, I reached out to my Reiki teacher and I asked her, well, I'm doing the healing attunement after the class. I said, do you have any tips for me or anything? Because I'm worried about the healing attunement and I don't know how to do it, how to shift the energy correctly. And then she didn't answer, and I guess she was asleep. I think she sleeps in, but the Reiki just let me know it takes care of it. The Reiki just said, I do that.
Hey, the energy takes care of it.
The energy takes care of it.
That's what we started with, was the energy.
We started with.
And it really beautiful. Does.
Thank you so much for that reading. Thank you. I do have gratitude for that. You don't have any idea how much gratitude.
I will
just honoring the animals. That is honoring our earth and animals of it.
It is.
A lot of times I don't like to say hate, but I'm trying to work on that, listeners and watchers. The cycle of life can be disturbing, in general. But when we honor their bones, like you're doing, I think that's really cool. They don't go away. You know what I mean? Their spirit doesn't go away. And then you get to utilize and work with their spirit. And they offer that animal of whatever bones you've chosen. There's a shell, Yeah,
absolutely. It's a way to, there's a really good section in the book called Animal Speak. And Animal Speak is a good guidebook to, what kind of vibration different animals bring to our sphere. Like the Crystal Bible does with crystals for us, Animal Speak does with animals. But it also has a really neat section about using, a feather or a bone to connect with that animal's essence, and how to really allow that to incorporate into your regular practice.
That is why I got interested in getting the furs. I wanted to feel the energy of them. And I got them from shamans, the stuff I got, the nails and I got them all from one place in Phoenix.
It's different when you.
But other things have just come into my life, though, oddly.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of cat whiskers.
Yep. Cat whiskers.
And that'd be something that would be meaningful to me. If I were to build one, I'd put most of my cat's whiskers in.
Yeah.
You still thinking about yours?
Yeah.
We're both sitting here thinking about our boxes and creating them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a really, really fun tool to incorporate into your practice.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I like to, like I said, just sit sometimes and stick my hands and touch the different bones and hear what comes forward or feel what comes forward. Because like you said, the animal stays with you. When you take an animal that has been unalived before its time, and you honor that animal's death, whether it be through allowing it to be taken off of a road so another animal doesn't die consuming it, or burying it and giving it a respectful burial, that animal will join with you most frequently and walk with you and help you for a period of time or for your whole life sometimes.
I love that.
Wow.
That is so cool. Yeah. It really makes you think.
That really does, because one of my best friends, she passed away when she was 38, I think 37, Wendy. She loved turtles and she had tons of turtles, and she had box turtle. She had snapping turtle. She had all of the turtles, and she had a lot of aquatic turtles that swim, And when we were children, we played together. Like we were around 9 and 10. She was a year older than me, and we weren't afraid of guts. We both wanted to be veterinarians. So if we found roadkill, we'd, look at it and look at the organs and stuff. And one day we found a turtle, and a big turtle, but the shell was broken and it was still alive. And, so we didn't know what to do, but my dad put it out of its misery in the end. But, and then ever since that moment, she just walked with turtle. My friend Wendy, she loved turtles all her life because of that. Something really hit her about that moment, and because we were shocked that it was alive. It was big,
Probably a small thing to your dad, but a big thing, obviously, to her.
We were little. That was a very big thing to us. Yes. I mean, he was a fisherman, my dad. So he's not,
Well, he understood it differently. I'm helping this tree.
Well, we were so little, we buried it. We didn't know what to do. So we buried it. And Dad said, alive? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, where? So, yeah.
Oh, no. That's a big, yeah. Did say that.
Yeah, that's good.
We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't
of course you didn't
have empathy.
Yeah,
empathy really develops more when you're around.
Well, no, you just didn't know any better.
I did know.
You thought you were doing what's best for her.
We had no idea what to do. I think we didn't tell anybody. We were always just running around in the woods and stuff. So, that is. But you know what, Nathan? I could talk at the same time as you all night long. I really could. What would you like to tell our watchers and listeners as advice for if they're interested in doing this? Like, what is the key element, is the mindset to get into, do you think? Like,
it's really a reflective mindset of what are things that are meaningful to me that have impact, that when I touch them or interact with them, I will be able to understand what they're saying to myself or to people around me. If incorporating, anything from any animals, especially birds, make sure they're not federally protected by the Migratory Bird Act.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a couple of them like chickens and turkeys and goose and crows that are okay. And then there are others that are absolutely no. So know your laws and walk within them, of course. And then to always do everything with respect. If you take something, leave something behind, leave an offering, whether it be an herb or stone or some hair. If you're taking something out of nature, make sure that you leave your essence as a form of gratitude. When you do that, it creates a beautiful circuit that really adds a lot of positive juju to this tool as you begin to use it and incorporate it in your practice.
Yes.
Put it somewhere sacred, treat it as such. Because this is one of those things that really becomes a living tool that will grow and evolve as you work with it, add to it. You don't have to add everything all at once. Start with a box and a rabbit pelt or a deer pelt or, just a piece of cloth. And then the first thing will call to you. And don't be afraid.
Okay.
They'll organize them, but, just start one piece at a time. This means this. It's important. I'm going to put it in here. A lot of people use sticks instead of bones for the casting, right? Some people will sand them and make them nice and smooth. Other people use branches from different trees that are special to them. Willow, pine. Don't use anything too sappy. Make sure it's dry if you use pine. But yeah, just you allow the thought to come and allow the inspiration to come as it will. Don't get frustrated if you don't just see this box done in your head. Let it make itself.
Yeah, I like that.
Beautiful.
Yes, I like that a lot. I'm going to do it.
And lastly, where can the listeners find anything out about you? Do you have a website or?
I don't have a personal website anymore. If you ever want to get a reading from me, you can find me on Everclear.com or I am on
Ophiel on Everclear.
Yep, Ophiel. That's Ophiel. You can find me on TikTok under Frater Ophiel, Frater. Same thing on Instagram. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a website. I just hang out and do my thing.
All right. Well, yeah, I'd love you to hang out and do your thing here anytime you want. And
thank you.
You're welcome to do it. And listeners and watchers, we love you and we hope you're having a good time wherever you may be. Peace and the world out.
Goodbye. We love you.
This will be really fun to mix because there was so much crazy. Bye. Well, hello. We do have a little thing to add at the end of Nathan's podcast, and it's very exciting. Nathan was right. He told me in this podcast on June 7th that I would be moving probably. And he said, just send your gratitude to Nashville and just wait. And that was July 7th. I'm sorry. And June 7th. Yeah, it was June 7th. And today is July 14th on a Sunday. And I live in Nashville now. So he was right. Isn't that freaking amazing? I know, right? It's so cool. So I moved here this weekend and I'm going back to get some more stuff still. But it happened. And thank you, Nathan. And thank you, listeners and watchers. I love you. Peace. Oh, Gand came. Oh, and there's a 9 too. Trust me, I've got both. They're doing okay. Tell you about it more later. tomorrow.